F-bomb.
Recording.
F-bomb, or no, I guess that would be a F-bomb as well. The vernacular for gay.
Yeah.
I was watching The Warriors last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. So, it's December 21st. Me a Coke.
In stereo. Hey, you raised the price of Coke. Yeah, Lou's been losing at the track. We had to raise the price of Coke.
I ain't paying 50 cents for no Coke.
Hey, you ain't getting no Coke. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. It's a family business. Can you make
Lou's been losing at the track.
What was the drink? Can you make a Mai Tai? Can you make a shoe stink?
No, it's a bull shot.
A bull shot.
Bull shot? Yeah, can you make a shoe stink? Funny kid.
One of my
back in Boys Town.
Oh, I see. It's a family business.
Yeah.
Was.
Hey, Sabu. Call him Sabu, the bartender.
What is that from?
I don't know. Sabu, the elephant boy. Whatever. He's Italian, but he looks kind of Indian. So I think
he looks Italian as fuck.
I know. Hey, Sabu, how about a drink?
One of my shows right now. I love Chicago Med. Well, I like Chicago Med. I love Chicago PD, but I like Chicago Med. One of the characters in there reminds me of a grown-up, what's his name again?
D'Annunzio?
D'Annunzio, yeah. A grown-up D'Annunzio. He gets all the punani, man.
Yeah.
He's about to score, what is his name? He's an Arab, but he looks Italian. He's about to score a mother-daughter combo.
Yeah.
The name will come to me now, damn it.
Hey, when I was your age, I lifted ice up 5, 6 flights of stairs. Actually, I'm a rich millionaire. My doctor says I should go out and carry clubs every once in a while. Funny kid. What time did you do back in Boys Town?
What is that guy's name? Crockett. His family named him, I don't know if Crockett's his first name or his last name, but when he came to this country, his parents were big Miami Vice marks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's like his name, refer to him as Dr. Crockett.
Uh-huh.
But he's about to fall into, he didn't provoke it, a mother-daughter combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he slept with the daughter, and now the mother knows that, and she's playing games and says, oh, look, there's mistletoe. And then she put her tongue down his throat.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's gonna, on one hand, you go, you gotta hand it to him. But again, he's like an adult, a 40-year-old D'Annunzio.
D'Annunzio.
Yeah. Crockett. So we should make mention of Jimmy Rave. Do you know anything about the kid?
Not really. Never crossed paths with him.
He passed away.
Maybe an indie show, but I don't remember.
He passed away last week, maybe the end of the week before.
Yeah.
And his death was shadowed by the passing of Jack Lanza. There's a little bit of mention of Jimmy Ray, but not like Lanza, because people didn't know him like that. The only thing I know about the kid is this. So Vince Russo, the worst booker. I don't care. You fans hate me all you want. Until you've worked with the guy, you don't know. You don't know what a moron and how ungifted and talented he is creatively.
Untalented.
Yeah. His greatest attribute is formatting television, not writing it.
Right.
So he came up with some things, and it was really hard for me to fall suit, so to speak, at TNA wrestling. But Dutchman tells them Coulter was pretty good at, really, man, he was really good at the Serenity prayer, saying, we can't change that. Let's stay out of it. Let's do what we are working on. Let's focus on this, i.e. the knockouts, and look what happened. Let's ask for forgiveness, not permission. Let's just do it, in part because of Russo. So Russo had Motor City Machine Guns. One was Alex Shelley. What was the other one? Do you remember?
Can't think of them offhand.
Decent enough tag team, stupid gimmick. Those guys weighed $170, and they're going to feud them with Bubba and Devon. Bubba, he's known for his selling, generosity in the ring, Yeah. Then also, the worst thing was that he brought in Jimmy Rave when you never really got a chance to see if the kid was talented or not, because they put Vince Russo's great idea was to take Lance Hoyt and Jimmy Rave and call them Rock and Rave, and then put Christy Hemme with them. And it was just abysmal. Even the smart fans or the Hoyt fans couldn't get behind it. So, Jimmy Rave was sitting in some stupid thing that was just basically put together for Russo's amusement. That's why he would do things like that, for his amusement or control, or to try to quasi, or what is it called when I used to, passive aggressive. It was a passive aggressive thing. Like, he's not going to stand up and say, hey, I'm the writer of this show. He's going to do something stupid like that, knowing that it's stupid. No cares for who's involved in it, and no cares for if it means anything to the wrestling community, but this is mine. This is my TV time. I wrote this,
Yeah.
So, I think it was unfair to Jimmy Rave. But seemed like a nice enough kid. I mean, he was quiet. Nothing stuck out about him being an asshole. I'm sorry to hear that he passed.
Yeah.
So on a happy side of that, I told you, I personally like Christy Hemme.
Yeah.
Did you know her? No, she
Yeah.
wasn't with Vince when you were there, was she?
She might have been there for a minute.
Cool. Well, she got big money. Like, that was one of Dixie's things. They paid her the first contract, unbelievable amount, because she left Vince shortly after the Playboy spread. Mm-hmm. So her value was way up here. Well, anybody with half a brain could have squozed Dixie Carter for big money if they were on Vince's TV,
Yeah.
Again, the worst thing ever is Kurt Angle and saying to all his pals over there, one of them off the top of my head being Rey Mysterio, oh, it's friggin' awesome. We make the same amount of money. You only have to wrestle 4 times a month.
Yeah.
But that's what she did. And then they didn't know what to do with her. I don't even think Dixie realized she wasn't a worker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe she was in a gimmick match or two, if memory serves.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
But she was their manager. But the funny thing about it is, man, one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in wrestling, she could stand on the top rope.
And then do the split.
Well, they don't notice yet, so don't be fucking spoiling, spoiler.
Said it last week.
Spoiler, no spoiling, motherfucker. I don't know, did I say it on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's very impressive, though. It's worth mentioning twice.
It is. I didn't hear it in the teaser. Anyway, she could stand on the top rope and then hit the splits straight to the mat, right on her snapper. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow! And then she tried to go out with us once or twice. Not us, but like she tried to be one of us. Because, 2 guys to the company, her star was it was up there.
Yeah.
So she wasn't like that, but she was trying to be, relate to us, and I was just being funny. I said, why don't you call it the Flying Snapper?
Yeah.
And she thought that was funny, and then she realized I was ribbing her, But anyway, yeah, that's what I know about Jimmy Rave. So Ian sends me this question today about, as you guys know or may not know, I helped tremendously put together the WrestleMania arcade game, which was the kickoff to wrestling video games. Mm-hmm. Also groundbreaking because it was the second most well-produced video at the time by Bally Midway to NBA Jam. So this was groundbreaking shit. Didn't know it at the time, how big it was, how big it was gonna get. But yes, asked me if I was involved with the TNA wrestling game. Now let me tell you, this is something that, I used to say it all the time. And instead of working with me, they would get mad and do the opposite. Sometimes I would send a group email. Dixie would be on there, Andy Barton would be on there, Sergio Salinas, Dixie's husband, would be on there, and I would say, remember, let's not step over dimes to pick up nickels, and that was the theme of this thing. So my first day there, my first weekend, and I hadn't been taught anything. I didn't even know the definition of production manager. My job description, my formal job description had nothing to do with it, But my first day there, first weekend, I had to tape 2 days in a row. I had to tape on I had to do a pay-per-view, live pay-per-view, and then I had to tape 2 TVs on the Monday. I had no fucking clue what I was doing. Nobody showed me nothing about nothing. I just looked at the shit, thought of my shit, and added a little bit more equipment and went off without a hitch. But, so my first day there alone, I show up, and there is a woman there, and I don't remember the video game, but it was a tank game, and it wasn't like, I don't know, Black Ops or whatever the hell they call those. Do you ever play video games?
A little bit.
What did you play?
I mean, I've played like Halo and things of that nature.
Does Halo got tanks in it?
No, but it's kind of similar. It's a first-person shooter.
What year did that come out, Halo?
Like Halo, the first one, I don't know. Mid-2000s?
Yeah, this might have been Halo.
Yeah, I mean, but there's also, the war game.
What's the big one that the kids are still, young people, that people are still playing? Black something. Black Ops?
Black Ops, yeah.
That's a big, Call of Duty, that's it. So this was, if it was 06, Ian, what video game was big in 06, 07?
06, 07.
It's a war game.
Yeah, that might have
Call
been
of Duty.
maybe Battlefield 2 and
No.
Call of Duty World
There was a
War.
Black Ops.
I wonder if it was Call of Duty. So I get there now, and Universal says, "Oh, this lady's here from the video game." I'm like, "What?" Nobody said anything to me. Like, yeah, they're one of your sponsors. I'm like, what? Nobody told me anything. So I got to run a pay-per-view, dude, by myself. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, just to myself, this is revenue, big revenue of a known video game. So I guess what happened was part of their contract or their advertising agreement with this company was that she was going to come in and supervise, and we were going to shoot our talent playing that video game in the locker room,
Right.
in between matches, which makes a lot of sense to me. It's actually a great idea. Nobody would answer their fucking phone. Nobody. Andy Barton, I'm sure it was Andy Barton and Serge Salinas, even Dixie. Nobody would answer their phone. So I just was like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do,
Yeah.
So I found one of my quote-unquote interns who was just a great kid. And I just met him, and I'm like, what do you do? And he did something with people in regards to either Disney or what's the other park down there? Universal. So he had something to do with people skills. I said, you got to do me a favor, and I want you to stay with her. And then from time to time, I would go check in until Jeff finally answered his phone and got back to me. So somebody from Nashville, and I can't remember if it was Barton or Salinas, was supposed to meet this woman there. Their only sponsor, Casey, to do this, and didn't even bother to get on a plane or contact or anything.
Yeah.
So even Jeff disappointed me because by the time he gets there, and I'm trying to cater to this woman. You know what I mean? This isn't my job.
Right.
But I know if we don't make money, I'm not going to, my plans to make a living here and set up roots in this new wrestling company ain't going to take off if we're fucking burning revenue.
Right.
Having businesses myself up to that point. Jeff gets there and she had ideas and he shot her ideas down and wasn't just fucking shooting her ideas down. He was projecting his frustration with TNA onto her.
Yeah.
Well, we lost a fucking sponsor.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it was a big video game.
Yeah.
And I don't care who, what, whenever. You couldn't afford to lose sponsors
Right.
at that stage of the game.
Yeah.
So then, I'm not kidding you, within a few weeks of that, there was a group of guys, I would say about 8 of them, maybe more. Same scenario. So yeah, it had to be probably the next pay-per-view, which was being shot in the studio, and then it also had to be a taping, 2 TVs the day after on that Monday. And it's a nightmare, man. I mean, really, man. When you don't know what the hell you're doing,
Yeah.
But I figure stuff out on the fly, just like working,
Right.
So these guys are there, and the first day I see this group of guys, and nobody tells me anything about them. I see a few people not even really giving them attention, Jeff included. And they sat him behind Don West and I want to say Mike TNA commentary, which is those weren't VIP seats, but those were like almost like family seats. They wouldn't be on camera unless you pan to Don and TNA. That's where Dory Funk and what was his wife's name again?
Vicky.
No, not Vicky.
I think it's Vicky.
It ain't Vicky Funk.
Oh, that's Terry's. Marty.
Marty Funk, M-A-R-T-I.
Terry's wife.
Thank you. But these guys are not looking happy or reacting or nothing until Sunday. I and go, who are you guys, you know? Monday. Because I always got to the building early and I made sure I had people there early because the biggest thing I wanted is to make sure that place was clean, you know? And, you know, I was supervising people and they're like, we're so-and-so from Bally Midway. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know? I go, well, okay. And then I just gave them an opening. I'm like, I saw you guys here yesterday. What were you here for? Like, we're supposed to be doing this, that, and the other thing. You guys are coming out with a video game. I'm like, oh my God. You know, like, shouldn't the whole company know we're coming out with a video game? With the successes of Vince's video games, then you almost didn't need a wrestling company. You know, to make money off a video game. And you're dealing with the pinnacle. You're dealing with Bally Midway. So I befriended those guys right away and said, I am so effing sorry. You know, what are your needs? So he told me the needs. And I says, oh, shit. So I hit up TNA. And I'm like, do you know that they were here last night and everybody ignored them?
Yeah.
And then today they show up, when I show up, probably 8 a.m., they're going to sit here for another 14 and goes, and they need to shoot something. Do you know what the shoot is about? Oh, yeah. I go, well, if I'm production manager and I'm the liaison between Universal and us, shouldn't I have been the guy to facilitate? You know what I mean? So again, whoever was supposed to handle it didn't show up. It was either Serge Salinas or it was Andy Barton, you know. And then I realized that one of my guys, somebody who did another function, was taking pictures of talent for something, good pictures of talent. And instead of looking into the scenario, they only needed like square footage of a ring to shoot these things. But they had a whole studio this size or bigger. So we were paying through the ass, probably 10 grand for the day. And I said, well, why don't we take you guys here and put you guys into that studio? Now I'm going to go talk to Universal. Just go set up and I'll get it done. You know, they did what they had to do, which was basically more camera work. We even used my guy who's on my crew, who was a photographer for some other stuff. He was freelancing, whatever, but he had another function during TV and stuff. And I said, to save you guys money, see if his equipment is good with your equipment. We can get that shit out of him. So I hooked everybody up. One of my guys on my roster, on my production roster, got another payoff. Midway was totally 100% happy with the situation, and they were neglected because this was supposed to be done the first day. This is their strategic partner in the video game industry, and the first day they did nothing. They burned out the creators, and they didn't have any care for Bally Midway paying all those guys for the day, and slowed down the process of getting the goddamn video game made.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, you know, they get done and they are all over me. They're so cool. You know, they're being really cool. Like, wow, you get things done. I'm like, don't put me over that much. It's common fucking sense. I'm sorry nobody was here. I'm actually new here. You know what I mean? Man. So, you know, I said, if you guys are going to stay for the taping, you know, they had all this giveaway stuff. And they had giveaway stuff. They had all this, what do you call when you give stuff away? Swagger.
Yeah.
It was all shit. You know, but they would give away tons and tons of swagger just to keep people in the studio. Hey, if you guys don't leave, we'll give you a Kurt Angle DVD. Yeah. You know what I mean? And shit like that, because really, people did not want to stay for the 2 tapings, you know, except for the one crew. But anyway, I said to my guys, roll out the red carpet for these fucking guys. Get them some fucking good shirts, the new Slammiversaries, all that shit. And from that point on, we were bae. So I'd see them from time to time when they would try to come in and shoot stuff. And finally what happens is halfway through, they're like, you know, unfortunately, we can't deal with you with these things. We have to deal with other parts of the company to wrangle talent and all that stuff, and it's not getting done. You know, we're contractually bound to do this thing, but our heart ain't into it anymore. And what happened with that video game, Ian? That video game didn't end up being, you can totally tell it was a half-ass fucking effort.
Oh, it's a cult classic now. Everybody wants it.
Well, when it was produced, it was a it was a turd.
Like, you can put up pictures of like Booker T, because they had him in the game.
Yeah.
He had, like, the graphics for that game are amazing, and then you put up like WWE's graphics now, and they're terrible.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that game made no money. And I don't know who would be making money on it now other than maybe Bally Midway, because TNA has no money. You know, TNA had nothing but debt. You know, TNA Impact. And, you know, I guess this will be the teaser for now. But, yeah, I mean, those are just small examples of the stuff I'm talking about here. It was